The man in front of me is my high school classmate, Liam. Now, he has a new identity as the founder of the Lou Group, a true first-generation wealthy individual. I never imagined we would meet again in such a manner.
Is this still the once high and mighty young lady?
He leaned down, gripping my chin, forcing me to look up at him. He was even more charismatic than before, with handsome features and a mature aura. However, his dark eyes were filled with detachment and coldness.
Why is it you?
Who did you hope it would be?
I lowered my gaze.
Anyone but you.
Liam released his grip, stood up, and laughed coldly at the sky.
Jessica, I am no less than any of them now.
He looked down at me, his tall figure like a mountain, as if he were a king about to pass judgment on me.
What do you want to say?
That you're despicable.
He enunciated each word, piercing my heart.
Liam, is it fun to trample on my dignity?
I'm just treating you the way you treated me. Can't handle it now?
I looked at him, my eyes filled with sorrow, but the smile that emerged didn't reach my eyes.
I can handle it, but I'm afraid you can't give me what I want.
Show me the tricks you've learned in the entertainment industry. There's nothing you can't get.
Liam's phone rang, and a sweet female voice came from the other end.
Liam, why aren't you back yet?
I'm coming back now. You go to sleep early.
Liam hung up the phone, scribbled on a check, and tossed it in front of me like he was giving charity to a beggar.
From today on, you're my lover. I hope you adhere to professional ethics and have only one client.
Liam's fountain pen must have been used for a long time. That day, he shook it vigorously, and ink splattered all over me.
I'm sorry.
His hands were cold, and classmates around us were all looking our way. My face felt hot.
What a lousy pen!
I snatched the tissue from him and threw his pen away. The pen flew far and broke into 2 pieces.
How dare you touch her face?
Tom stomped on it a few times, glaring at Liam.
Move your foot.
Liam went to pick up the pen from the ground, looking lost.
Move your foot!
Tom, of course, didn't care and stomped harder.
Move your foot!
With the final shout, Tom was pushed to the ground. The classmates laughed, but Liam quietly picked up the broken pen and returned to his seat.
It's just a broken pen. Is it worth it?
Liam ignored me. 3 days later, Sophia was pushed down the stairs by me at school and broke her leg.
How could you do such a thing?
It's okay, sweetheart. It's not a big deal. If she hadn't provoked my daughter wouldn't have pushed her.
That's how my dad was always protecting and favoring me without any limits. But in the end, such a man also left my mom and me.
Dad understands me. Keep spoiling her, and she'll be ruined sooner or later.
Calm down. It's just a small matter. At worst, we'll give Sophia's dad that $3 million deal.
A week later, as the college entrance exams approached, Sophia returned to school, but she had someone by her side all the time. Liam. He would pick her up and drop her off every day, even waiting outside the girls' restroom. My loyal follower had now become Sophia's. After the exams, I was late for one of them, so my scores were terrible, just barely passing the threshold. But I didn't care. Scores weren't important to me, money was. Liam's results came out, and he was the top scorer of the year. Sophia's injury affected her performance. Surprisingly, Liam chose to apply to the same school as Sophia, despite his high scores. Everyone said he wasted his potential. But I thought it was probably the power of love. I spent a year abroad without any surprises, then made a call to my dad.
Dad, I want to be a star.
All right, I'll arrange it for you.
I knew that if I wanted the stars in the sky, my dad would try to get them for me. I successfully entered the entertainment industry, with my dad backing me up in every project. I thrived and quickly became a popular actress. But life doesn't always go smoothly.
This child isn't mine? Tell me, whose child is this? You shameless woman.
You've raised her for so many years. Don't you have any feelings for her?
Feelings? I wouldn't have feelings for a child that's not mine.
My dad stormed out and ran into me at the door. He looked at me with an anger I had never seen before. The cake in his hand fell at my feet, and he walked past me, never to return home again.
Mom, what's going on?
She just cried, continuously, without saying a word. My dad completely left our family, abandoning my mom and me behind. From then on, my status in the entertainment industry plummeted.
Jessica, why hasn't the investment come through yet?
As the project was about to start, the money still hadn't arrived. I didn't tell anyone about our family scandal. Soon after, I saw my dad at a dinner party with a woman not much older than me. I heard she had been getting a lot of good opportunities lately. Gradually, I became a laughingstock in the entertainment industry, and everyone avoided me. With my dad's support, I used to choose my roles. Now, roles chose me, and I had no resources. Even supporting roles like the third or fourth female lead became valuable to me.
Jessica, this can't go on. You need to take the initiative.
How?
I've arranged a dinner for you tonight with some powerful businessmen. Don't act like a spoiled princess, be open.
I stood up, furious, and pointed at Madison.
What did you just say? What do you mean by loosen up? Are you suggesting I entertain guests and sell myself?
Madison didn't seem surprised. She remained calm, though her eyes were full of mockery.
I know it's hard for you to accept, but I have no choice. Money talks. If you don't do it, someone else will. Don't make it sound so bad. It's just a mutually beneficial arrangement. You get fame, they get your company. It's a win-win situation, isn't it?
Her words were filled with disdain, and I felt as if I had been stripped naked and humiliated. But back then, I was still arrogant.
Who do you think you are to arrange my life? If it weren't for the fact that we were schoolmates, I wouldn't even consider using you.
Miss, times have changed. That bullied Liam is now a big entrepreneur. Think about it.
It was the first time in years that I heard Liam's name from someone else. Indeed, times had changed. I received a call. My mother was hospitalized. I stood at the door of the hospital room, holding the surgery notice.
Besides the $800,000 for the surgery, the subsequent treatment costs are a bottomless pit.
I called Madison.
How much money do I have left in my account?
Money? Sis, the breach of contract penalties alone have almost drained you. You know how extravagantly you spend.
After the hospital's final payment notice, I swallowed my pride and called Madison.
Arrange that dinner for me.
At the dinner party, hands wrapped around my shoulders, people getting close to me, the smell of alcohol in the air. A man with a flushed face raised his glass and said to everyone present,
"The last time I saw Jessica, her father brought her. She was so pretty back then. I was envious. I never thought."
Yes, he never thought, and neither did I, that this man I once called uncle would now be taking advantage of me.
Mr. Brown, I toast to you. I'll need your support in the future.
Don't call me Mr. Brown. It's too formal. Call me darling.
His words made me feel sick. He leaned close to my neck, drunkenly whispering,
Rumor has it you're not your father's biological daughter. Did you ever do it with your father?
I slapped the beast in front of me, but he didn't hold back. He tore my dress and pressed me onto the round table.
I'll take you right now.
In the studio, a woman rushed onto the stage and threw an unknown liquid at me. I didn't react because I saw it was Sophia. People around us scattered in fear, not knowing if the bottle contained something harmful.
Jessica, you shameless woman. Destroying other people's families, being a homewrecker.
A group of reporters had somehow entered and were taking pictures of me.
Where did these reporters come from? Get them out.
Let's see who dares.
Sophia stood proudly among the crowd, looking down on everyone. Someone with sharp eyes recognized Sophia and shouted,
"That's Mrs. Adams from the Adams Group."
"Adams Group, Liam, Mrs. Adams, Sophia." I looked up at her again, but I wasn't surprised. I just didn't expect that they had really gotten married. I was indeed the other woman because I accepted Liam's deal. He gave me money, and I became his lover. Sophia acted quickly. An hour later, the news was all over the internet. Fallen star Jessica becomes a mistress, caught by the wife, left in disgrace. In the photo, I looked like a lost puppy, hair disheveled, soaked to the skin, eyes downcast. An hour later, a Maybach pulled up in front of the studio. Liam stepped out of the car, impeccably dressed in a suit. His inherent elegance had been hidden by his earlier humility.
Did you handle the online news?
Don't flatter yourself. I did it for the company. Such negative news affects the company.
When did you get married?
The atmosphere in the car grew tense. Liam stared at me, scrutinizing.
Why do you care?
I don't. Just curious since we're classmates. You two make a perfect couple.
Jessica, you've changed.
So have you.
Thanks to you.
I'll pay you back. I hope we don't make any more mistakes that could hurt those who care about you.
Liam's eyes sparkled as he sat up straight, exuding a masculine charm.
Jessica, just focus on yourself. I need you to make money for me. Don't forget tomorrow's press conference.
The car stopped midway, not at my destination. I must have angered him.
Get out.
His tone was full of dismissal. I couldn't stay thick-skinned, so I opened the door and got out. The place was deserted, likely the outskirts. I would have to walk back.
Jessica, don't forget tomorrow's press conference.
I suddenly had a major project, backed by Liam's company. I was their only artist. At the press conference!
Now, let's welcome our leading lady, Jessica, to the stage.
The microphone was passed to me, and the flashlights went off. It felt like everything from the past had returned. I scanned the crowd, locking eyes with Liam in a corner. He stood out, easily noticeable.
I announce that I, Jessica, am leaving the entertainment industry starting today.
The crowd was in an uproar. The microphone was snatched from me, and the organizer looked embarrassed.
Miss Jessica is just joking.
I remained indifferent and got up to leave. In the hallway, Liam blocked my way.
Jessica, I guess I was wrong. You're still the same unreasonable Jessica.
I pulled out 2 checks from my pocket, one Liam had given me and one of my own.
Thank you for lending me money for my mother's treatment. Here's the repayment, with an extra $200,000 as interest.
I handed them to him, but Liam didn't even look.
Jessica, are you playing games with me?
Think what you want.
Don't think I don't know where your money comes from. Besides those old men, where else would you get it?
I didn't bother explaining. I had just sold my house, and the money had just come through. When my mother needed surgery urgently, selling the house wasn't quick enough. Liam grabbed me from behind, glaring angrily.
Jessica, did you sleep with someone? Answer me.
In his eyes, I was just someone who would do anything for money. I lifted my face, tears welling up but refusing to fall. I still spoke with a mocking tone.
Liam, a pheasant can't become a phoenix.
I yanked my arm free and walked away without looking back. My phone rang.
Jessica, why aren't you here yet?
My mom was waiting at the airport. I had bought a ticket, ready to leave this place. As the car drove, I leaned against the window, tears finally streaming down my face. The trees outside blurred like a movie, and a sense of loss overwhelmed me. Even I didn't know why I was crying. A wave of dizziness hit me, followed by a piercing crash sound, and pain engulfed me. A loud bang. Everything turned red before my eyes. The liquid reached my lips, salty, tears or blood, I couldn't tell. When I opened my eyes, Liam was standing by my hospital bed, his eyes red. Tom stood not far away, his eyes full of joy.
Jessica, you're awake?
He grabbed my hand in excitement.
Why am I here?
I frowned, pulling my hand away from Liam's grip, and looked at Tom.
Jessica?
Who are you?
Don't you remember who he is?
Tom walked to my bedside and handed me a straw. I shook my head.
I'm the owner of your agency.
I watched as Tom and Liam were pulled outside, hearing their muffled voices through the door.
Why are you chickening out again? If I had known you were such a coward, I wouldn't have agreed to this.
The doctor said this might happen. She might selectively forget people and things she finds unpleasant. She doesn't remember me, but she remembers you. I must have made her unhappy, so she chose to forget me.
Then go tell her everything.
Liam lowered his eyes, a look of endless sorrow spreading across his face. From that day on, Liam frequently appeared in front of me. And every time, Tom would call me over. Liam brought old-fashioned soda and bread.
These must be hard to find.
I looked at the packaging. It was something from our old-school cafeteria.
Quick, get me a burger and milk tea. I'm starving.
I told you, the doctor said you can't eat those things.
If I can't eat that, what should I eat? This?
I pointed disdainfully at the things Liam brought, taking big bites of junk food.
These things should stay in memories. They taste terrible now. Junk food is better.
On the day I was discharged, Tom organized a gathering with a few high school friends. Everyone wore school uniforms. Liam also wore a uniform, but his looked old while everyone else's were newly made.
Mr. Adams, why are you here too?
I asked Liam suspiciously. He seemed to be everywhere.
Well, he said the next film is a school drama, so he came to experience it with you.
Isn't that the director's job? Why does the agency owner need to be involved?
He's being responsible.
Tom said with a silly smile, giving Liam a look. As the dinner was ending, I suddenly stood up and addressed everyone.
Everyone, I have some good news to share.
People stopped what they were doing.
I'm going to marry Tom.
Tom almost spat out his drink.
Are you joking?
I noticed Liam's face turn pale, his eyes losing their light, and a bitter smile forming on his lips.
Falling for someone else? You've liked me for over 10 years. If I don't give you an answer, I'd be a terrible person, right?
I said, flicking Tom's forehead playfully.
Are you serious?
Tom was unusually excited but couldn't help glancing at Liam, looking conflicted.
Why do you keep looking at Mr. Adams? Have your preferences changed?
Liam suddenly stood up, raising his glass of whiskey.
I wish you both the best.
Then he downed the drink in one go. He sat back down, and after a moment of silence at the table, Liam grabbed his coat and stood up.
Sorry, I have to go.
Drink up, everyone. What's wrong?
I mimicked Liam, downing my glass of whiskey. The whiskey burned, rushing to my head. It felt like my whole body was filled with cold air, chilling me to the core. I drank a lot, and eventually, Tom took me home. Tom took off my shoes, helped me to bed, brought me water, both honey water and plain water, and wiped my face with a warm towel. Tears rolled down my cheeks.
You're not really drunk, are you?
He pulled the blanket over me.
And you haven't really lost your memory, have you? I'll be right outside. Call me if you need anything.
I suddenly reached out and grabbed his hand, my voice choked with emotion.
Tom, don't go. Help me, please.
3 days later, we had our wedding. It was an outdoor ceremony. I stood on the stage, my eyes fixed on the entrance.
Do you regret it now?
I shook my head.
No regrets.
The officiant's words, whether romantic or humorous, drifted past my ears like the wind. My mother sat in the audience, tears in her eyes. Shouldn't she be happy that I was getting married? Why was she crying? Her tears made my eyes start to water too. But inside, I felt empty. The past was gone forever. While Tom was attending to the guests, he received a call. He came to me, looking panicked.
Sophia has taken a drastic step.
This time, it was real. I stared at Tom in disbelief, remembering an incident from years ago. Sophia and I had argued in the hallway.
Why do you treat Liam like that? What did he ever do to you? You treat him like a servant, always bullying him for your amusement. What else can you do?
I do what I want. My affairs are none of your business.
But why was she acting like this?
Sophia, why do you care so much? Are you defending Liam?
Yes, I like him a lot.
Her words shocked me. Even though I wasn't oblivious, hearing her say it so boldly made me admire her. I even envied her.
Ha, I scoffed, not knowing what to say. Her words had rendered me speechless, like a defeated soldier.
Jessica, you like Liam too.
My expression froze.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would I like him? That's absurd.
Sophia pointed at my chest.
Jessica, you better remember what you just said.
Her haughty attitude infuriated me. Or maybe it wasn't just that. I instinctively pushed her away.
Don't touch me with your dirty hands.
Sophia stumbled and fell down the stairs. From that day on, Liam and Sophia were inseparable. On the day of the college entrance exam, I ran into a flustered and limping Sophia.
Liam left his exam admission ticket at his part-time job.
I'll get it and bring it to you. You hurry back.
But you don't take the exam at the same location as us. Will you make it back in time?
That's none of your concern.
I handed the admission ticket to Sophia.
Don't tell Liam about this.
Because of this, I missed that part of the exam. Tom and I went abroad because my mother needed a kidney transplant. It was strange. I wasn't her biological daughter, yet my kidney was a match for her. I guess it was fate. When my mom married my dad, they couldn't have children for years. My mom was fine, so the problem was with my dad. But she never told him. My mom always said my dad was too proud to handle it. Things couldn't go on like that forever. When my dad went abroad for business, my mom secretly adopted me. My dad was overjoyed, thinking he finally had a child, and he doted on me.
Why didn't you ever tell him? I asked my mom, watching our family fall apart.
Should she bear all this alone? Liam kept his head down, his voice barely audible.
I didn't.
Didn't you? You're lying. I saw Jessica talking to you in class.
She talked to me.
Emily, my friend, covered her mouth, laughing.
Look, Tom is at it again.
I ignored it. Tom's dad and my dad were business partners. At that time, our families had built a building for the school, so we were sent here together. Tom was like a clingy plaster, but I didn't like him. My name is Tom. I like Jessica. I think we are childhood sweethearts, meant to be together. But recently, I noticed Jessica getting very close to Liam, and I even hit that guy because of it.
I made him swear he would never go near Jessica again. He refused to promise.
Jessica even came to me, saying that only she could mess with Liam, and no one else could. I thought she was under some spell. Her mind must be messed up.
I found out Liam was leaving early to work, and I told Jessica, but she wouldn't let me tell anyone else. So, I reported the restaurant for employing underage workers. But a few days later, I found out Liam was still working there.
Later, after we graduated, that restaurant was renamed Jessica's Diner. I heard Jessica's dad bought it. When the college entrance exam results came out, Jessica dragged me to the school. I was puzzled since we didn't need to rely on scores. She looked at the rainbow arch the school had put up, which read, "Congratulations to Liam for becoming the top science student in our province."
Tom, take a picture of me with the rainbow arch.
You're crazy.
But I saw her expression was strange, wanting to laugh and cry at the same time. Was she losing her mind? Later, I realized it wasn't madness. She had fallen in love with Liam.
Do you want to hear a story about how I used to tease Liam?
She told me many stories about how she used to tease Liam. But in every story, I could hear her love for Liam, her awkwardness in facing her feelings for him when she was young. Teasing him was her way of expressing love.
Later, we fell on hard times, and Jessica had it even worse. Liam showed up, wanting to help Jessica. But when I mentioned it to Jessica indirectly, she got angry and threatened to cut ties with me if I contacted Liam again.
Don't you dare contact Liam again.
I thought she didn't want him to see her in such a state. Her amnesia was fake. She said she didn't know how to face Liam. At the dinner table, she announced she wanted to marry me, but I knew she didn't love me.
I want to marry you, Tom.
I saw her drinking one glass after another, knowing she was in pain. Sophia passed away. Jessica said she couldn't be a shadow in Liam's life and begged me to take her away. I agreed. I wanted to see her happy. I actually wanted to call Liam. But I preferred to stay by her side forever.